Good morning. I don't know how spooky this is, but welcome everyone. This is your friendly neighborhood astronomer, and this is a lunar eclipse. It is election day, and hopefully this lunar eclipse is not a portent of something disastrous like higher taxes. Oh no. In any case, I thought I would start out by going through a telescope setup. So nothing is quite set up yet, and we are just observing the sky and a beautiful, almost total lunar eclipse. As you can see right now, behind me in the background and up in the sky, the moon is almost completely covered in the darker part of the Earth's shadow called the umbra. So right now, the brighter part of the moon that you can see that looks like a crescent moon is actually the moon in the Earth's shadow part called the penumbra. Okay, the umbra is the darkest part of the shadow, and as the moon moves into the Earth's shadow, the darker part of the shadow, the umbra, it looks more and more eclipsed, and it will get redder and redder. You can even see kind of the red tinge to it right now. A lot of people like to call it a blood moon. Whatever you'd like to label it, this is what's happening. It's moving into the Earth's shadow. So I don't know if you can see me very well. I turned my flashlight off. I don't want this to be a spooky campfire story, but maybe it's gotta be. In any case, the moon is almost all the way there. I'm gonna set up my telescope and we're gonna put the camera there. You might hear some rattling in the background. That is my dog Sagan. He's not on camera right now, but he wanted to share this event with us. So, alrighty. Without any further ado, I'm gonna go get the telescope. I'm gonna leave the camera rolling, and I will see you back here in just a minute. In case you're wondering, no, it is not a common practice for telescope observers to have lights on or flashlights or camera lights or anything else like that, because it ruins our dark adaptation for our eyes. However, the lunar eclipse is so bright, we really don't need to rely on our night vision. Of course, night vision is better, but you guys won't be able to see much if it's not at least a little illuminated. So I placed the tube on the mount here. You can see that. And I'm going to go to the cemetery. Oh, say, my dog just took out my camera tripod. Oh well. Let's see. Let's check the orientation. Sometimes Sagan is not the best camera partner, but that's okay. He's busy hunting. All right. Sagan is always hunting. He is an instinctive hunter. Hey, the Hunter Moon, that was the name of one of these full moons. They're all just labels. They don't really mean anything. But hey, if it helps you to enjoy astronomy, to label your full moon, that's absolutely fine. Alright, sometimes it takes a number of turns to get the telescope tube tightened onto this mount. In particular, I am using an older Meade LX200 8-inch Schmidt Cassegrain telescope. It is a catadioptic telescope, which means it uses both lenses and mirrors. And breaking another rule here, I'm going to use the flashlight to help me. It has a built-in level, and I want to level the telescope base and then do an alignment with a couple bright stars to tell the telescope where it is. Once the telescope knows where it is, it builds a model of the sky, and then I can use the go-to features. This is a little bit more advanced telescope. It's not a beginner scope, so it's got go-to motors, go-to program. That is not necessary for observing, and I definitely encourage everyone to learn the sky first. Don't start out with a go-to telescope. Start out with just your eyes and binoculars. Learn the constellations, learn the seasons, learn where the planets are along the ecliptic and where they're going to be and where they're going to move. It's a journey, and it's wonderful, and it's fun. And then at a certain point, it's so much fun that you have to share it, like I do, and like so many of my friends and colleagues do. It really is fun. So two of them, a former one of my Adler colleagues and buddies, Geza Juk, and Joe Guzman, the Chicago astronomer, were both on Chicago Tonight this evening. So if you caught the eclipse segment on Chicago Tonight, they did a great job. Joe Guzman is especially dynamic and enthusiastic and just excited. You can just tell the excitement and the love of astronomy when he talks about it. And that is so much fun, and I'm so happy to be a part of all of that. All right. I do believe I have my power connected out here. So let's just see. Yep, power is on. Okay, so I connected the telescope, I leveled the base, I plugged in my hand controller and my power adapter. Hopefully you can see those on camera. I leveled the telescope and set it to the 0 position here. That's not absolutely necessary for the go-to process. Now what I can do, what I did prior to this, is collimate my finder scope, just to make sure that the finder and the main instrument are lined up, so you're looking at the same thing in both. I've already done that. So, without any further ado, now that my menu has come up here, you probably won't be able to see this on camera, but I have a telescope menu. I can choose a line from that menu, Alt-Az or polar. Well, I don't have a polar wedge on this, so this is an Alt-Az, or a horizontal and vertical, but kind of lazy Susan alignment. And then I'm going to do a 2-star alignment. It asks me to level the telescope. I've already done that. Then it wants me to press enter and pick a star. Well, let's see. I don't know if the stars will show up on this video, but I have all the wonderful stars in Orion, and I have Sirius. I know that one's showing up. So I've got lots to pick from. Let's start out with Sirius. It's our first star for our alignment. So what I'm doing is I am driving the telescope moving it with the hand controller over to Sirius. And then I'm going to line up Sirius in the eyepiece and center it. And that is one of the telescope's first alignment points. That's going to tell the telescope where this star is in the sky. And then I need only one more star. Actually, I can go with a 1-star alignment, but it's more accurate and it's a better alignment to use 2 stars. I'm going to tweak this so I really get it right in the middle. And I'll hit enter. I hit enter again, and I choose the next star. And I'm going to use Rigel because it's a nice, beautiful, bright star in Orion. It is his, if you're looking at it, it's his left knee, but it's on our right side. And I've just about gotten Rigel in the center of the field of view. He's almost there. Alrighty. So, I'm going to go inside and I'm going to get my cell phone adapter so that I can put it right here on the telescope. But first, let's slew over to the moon. Make sure our alignment is good and happy. Oh yeah, absolutely. Bingo, bullseye. Oh, I like it when a plane comes together. And the moon looks awesome right now. I'm just going to play with the focus a tiny bit before I go get the handy dandy ISS iPhone adapter, which my friend Steve Cosgrove made. And he makes many iterations of it, many new developments, and he uses them. He also volunteers at the Adler Planetarium, and he joins us for Chicago astronomer events. In any case, Steve does a wonderful job, and he's very generous giving out these beautiful iPhone or smartphone adapters. So I'm going to go get that. I'm going to put my phone on it, and we're going to take a quick peek of the moon before I end part 1 of this video. Thanks again for joining. Right. Without any further ado, excuse the jitteriness of my pulling the iPhone off of that stand, off of that tripod, and moving it onto the handy dandy adapter, which is not as lined up as I would have liked it to be, but let's do that alignment right here at the telescope so that you can see the moon. This is unfortunate. Normally I just drop it right in and we're able to start viewing, but it took a couple seconds. And you can see that almost fully eclipsed moon, and you can see the reddish hue to it, the blood. So it's going to take me a minute or two, or a few seconds at least, to get the iPhone centered here. It's unfortunate. I thought I had my tools all ready, but apparently I did not. Now the eyepiece that I have in here, and it kind of sets, it's not permanent, but it's a little bit of a hassle to switch out the eyepiece. It's a 26mm eyepiece, so because of that, we're not going to get the full disc of the moon. but we're gonna get a pretty nice view anyway. All right. I hope you're out if you're up this morning and you're viewing the moon. You can see nice detail in the various Maria. A sea of humors and crises and tranquility and serenity and the ocean of storms and all those wonderful Maria and the various places where we landed on the moon on our Apollo missions. And the moon is, you can tell it's not completely in the umbra yet because we still have a brighter piece to it. Now this last part is going to be just a bit tricky because I need two hands to set the bottom guide on here. But once I have that set, I'll be able to refine the view a little bit. All right, here we go. So thank you for joining me for this first segment of the Friendly Neighborhood Astronomers Lunar Eclipse viewing session. I am going to stop this video and then I'll start it up again a little bit later because lunar eclipses are pretty long events and we're not going to make this long of a YouTube video, but we're almost at totality now. So it'll be kind of neat to see the difference between what the moon looks like now and what the moon looks like when it is totally immersed in the Earth's shadow. It is that red hue that we're getting on the moon is caused because the sun's light, which is on the opposite side of the Earth from the position of the moon, so they're in a line, right? The sun's on one side, the full moon is on the other side, and the sun's red light gets lensed around the Earth because, hey, sorry flat earthers, the Earth is an oblate spheroid, meaning it's spherical, it's round, and yes, the atmosphere that protects us and gives us life, well, it lenses the sun's light, so the blue light gets scattered off more and the red light doesn't get scattered as much, but it does get refracted or bent through the atmosphere. So all the sunsets and sunrises in the world that are happening right now, that reddish hue that we see at sunrise and sunset is being lensed into the shadow of the Earth and onto the moon's surface, and that's what we're seeing. Beautiful lunar eclipse almost in totality. So see you in the next video. This is your friendly neighborhood astronomer signing off.